Hey everybody, welcome back to the Calibrate Tools and DIY channel. I'm gonna give you guys time to come on in and get yourselves some popcorn or whatever you need to get to enjoy the festivities right here. Anyway, guys, glad you guys could make it. Happy New Year to everybody. You made it, and hopefully you made it. You wouldn't be watching this if you didn't make it, right? Or you'd be watching from the other side. Hopefully, you're not watching from a hospital bed or something like that. But yeah, happy you guys are here, and come on in whenever you get ready. So today was a pretty interesting topic. I figured I'd talk about. It won't be a long topic, but it's very interesting when you keep up on the trends that are happening out there, even in the realm of tools and power tools and stuff like that. My world, right? Um, it's funny when you examine these issues and you see how certain causes out there intersect and how you know those different causes have to compromise with each other in order to coexist and move on so everything can progress, right? So that kind of ties into what the title is: eco-friendly blockchain power tools. So you look at that title and you may say, oh man, what's he talking about tonight? um, those two words, eco-friendly and blockchain, what do they have to do with each other? Well, they have a common denominator, and that's the last two words, power tools. You believe it or not, power tools are becoming more eco-friendly. It's not like they just started yesterday, but that's the trend going forward with tools. And tools are a type of technology, and you can't deny that. Now, as far as the blockchain, if you don't know what the blockchain is, you probably had your head in the sand for the last, I don't know, 5 to 10 years. I'd say probably 5 years, because that's when everybody really started hearing about it because of its affinity or its links with what we call cryptocurrency and stuff like that. Um, Cryptocurrency has probably been the use case for blockchain technology thus far. And a lot of people made money, a lot of people lost money over cryptocurrency. And but the blockchain was really the platform upon which those cryptocurrency is built, because it's still out there and it's not going anywhere, I don't think. But it's more than just cryptocurrency that the blockchain is responsible for being upholding, or I should say supporting. Okay. The blockchain has many other use cases other than cryptocurrency. So, and power tools, believe it or not, tie into that. So yeah, the trends towards green tools and blockchain supported tool technology is on the rise, and it's no surprise with what's going on today. I mean, we look at AI and all that other stuff, machine learning and things like that. It's no surprise that um, the tool industry would be, being that it's physical products, would have something, would be influenced, or at least by these technologies out there. So let's talk about that for a minute. As far as the tool market, though, as a whole, it's gonna continue to grow and grow um, for the next 10 years or so. We Let's say, aside from extenuating circumstances like wars and stuff like that, like what's going on now, like the Russia-Ukraine war. Anytime there's a war or something like that, people lose their purchasing power, especially in that area of the world. So you'll see a probably reduction in certain products being used around the world, in certain parts of the world. That market may be stifled because of, like, things that you can't control. You can't control people going to war and stuff like that. But and then you had the pandemic, right? You had that too. I mean, I talked about this a million times already. The pandemic really put a wrench in the supply chain all over the world. So that stifled growth too. But seeing that some of these things have subsided somewhat, um, the market for power tools specifically, that's what we're talking about tonight, has bounced back, and it's going to continue as well. It's projected to um, be a big market. So there's for the next 10 years, according to the numbers. And so the reason I talk about this stuff is because I like to touch on things where it can give at least give people a glimpse into a world where they can possibly gain some opportunity or have opportunity going forward if they want to get into that world, right? So yeah, so that's what's going on with that. So that's a quick synopsis of what's happening. But as far as eco-friendly stuff, I mean, think about it, right? When did the whole green movement start? Everything has to go green and stuff. Well, according to the research I've done, the green movement started way back in the 60s and 70s. Okay, when people started getting conscious of air pollution, save the planet, save the earth, and all that stuff, and then it got to a geopolitical level when you had protocols like the Kyoto Protocol, where it was all about emissions into the atmosphere, destroying the atmosphere and stuff like that. So it's nothing new, right? It's nothing new. It's about, I don't know, 70 years old, maybe. All right, from the what's that, 60s to today, 60 to 70 years old, this movement. Okay, but nobody ever really talked about power tools being a problem, about or causing emissions crisis and stuff like that, and polluting the atmosphere. But I guess after a while, the power tools had a good run, just being air pollutants and all that. They had a good run, right? And then they started getting clamped down on by the agencies. So they had to conform to a degree, right? So now you have a trend where power tools have to be, they have to be eco-friendly. They have to be green, so to speak. So you can't have all this noise, and noise is another form of pollution, by the way. It's not just about air pollution; it's about noise pollution. So you have these noisy tools going, like lawnmowers, chainsaws, things like that disrupt people's peace, I guess. So that's considered pollution. That was a part of the grievances as well with power tools. Then you have the air pollution from them, right? Because they produce a lot of toxic fumes as well into the atmosphere. I think I was reading somewhere that a chainsaw can produce just as much toxic emissions as cars. That a car that drove for 250 miles or something like that. And think about that. That's wow, that's a lot, right? Coming from a power tool. So let's just say you're in the market of selling tools today, right? If you're in the market of selling tools today, you probably want to think about, okay, what kind of eco-friendly tools should I promote? Because believe it or not, if you're promoting any kind of product that's safe, that's all safe for the environment, stuff like that. I mean, people eat that. I mean, people kind of eat that up. At least certain sectors of society, they want to feel good. People like to feel good about themselves, and you probably have, to have that sticker or that whatever certification you need to say, okay, this is a green certified power tool or whatever it is. That can do nothing but help your sales. Okay, so yeah, that's something to think about when it comes to power tools. So yeah, eco-friendly tools, and that could just mean having a battery operated power tool, right? Versus a corded tool. Yeah, so you have green lawnmowers. They have electric lawnmowers as well, which are alternatives to gas motors. They definitely lower emissions and all that. And another thing with gas mowers is that you have not just the fumes that are emitted. You have, think about when you're pouring fuel into a lawnmower tank, for example. Some of that fuel spills out, right? Even when you're pumping gas in your car and you pull out the nozzle, it's gonna some of that stuff's gonna spill on the ground. That's a form of pollution. Imagine that happening all over the country every second of the day. That's a form of pollution too. So spillage is taken into account, as well as gas, the air pollution itself. So with an electric mower, you don't have to worry about that, right? Thing with electric mowers is you got the cord. You got, I think it's like 100 feet you can go with an electric mower with a cord. So what's even better than that is to get the next step up, which is a mower that's battery powered. Okay, a battery powered lawnmower. They have those. You can even find battery powered riding lawnmowers, the big ones that people ride on. They got those. They got them in with batteries too. So yeah, and I would assume they probably have solar charged mowers and power tools out there as well. To keep everything eco-friendly on the eco-friendly tip. Okay, so let me see. I know I'm rattling on. Let's see if anybody came in. Nobody's here yet. But anyway, I'll keep on. So yeah, being eco-friendly. Being eco-friendly is the name of the game today. Okay. Another eco-friendly type of power tool is the propane power tools. Okay, propane instead of gas. Okay, a lot of propane powered equipment is a lot easier to use. You don't have to worry about carburetors or anything like that, or your lines getting clogged. Propane is, I've worked with, look at forklifts, for instance, right? They run on propane. You don't have to fill them up. All you got to do is, fill up with fuel. You just got to make sure the tank is filled, right? And you just fill up 1, 2, 3 tanks, and you have them set aside for when you need the next one, for when you run out. So yeah, propane powered equipment is much safer for the environment. It's not toxic or nothing like that. If you happen to, spill it or anything like that, it's not going to be harmful to the environment. And yeah, so they have a lot of different types of eco-friendly alternatives to what's out there now. It's kind of like the electric car, which is pretty popular right now. But I don't know if the oil and gas industry, obviously they're not too pleased with these alternatives. But hey, I tend to think that the guys that run these big oil and gas companies, they're probably into the green game too. They probably own the green companies too. They're getting both sides of the coin. And so I wouldn't put that past them. But if they are doing that, hey, more power to them. Solar, yeah, solar powered. I mentioned that. Definitely big. I think maybe, what was it? Maybe 12 years. I don't know. I'd say about 15 years ago, I was in the solar game myself. I used to install solar on roofs and stuff like that. I really love the technology, how it works and everything. I think I'm going to do the video on how solar, the mechanics of how solar panels work, or anything solar, because it's pretty much the sun, the sunlight producing electricity, right? It's knocking the electrons out of these, what they call photovoltaic cells, and producing an electric charge, and you can harness that. You can store that energy in batteries. You can use it, power your home, power whatever. And or you can, they even have solar thermal panels. I think that's what they are. That leverages, thermal heat to run things. So that's, the technology's out there. So I just mentioned you can there are probably tools right now. I haven't come across one yet. Instead of putting it in a battery or slapping a battery on it, you can recharge it in the sun, just like, just like those old calculators that had the solar strip on it. Remember that? I think those are being incorporated into tools too, right? Where which makes sense, right? If you're working out there, you're a tradesman, or you're just working out there with tools. Most of the time, you're going to be outside with them anyway. Um, the sun's just charging them up all the time, right? And man, that saves a lot. It saves a lot of time. You don't have to wait. It's charging while you work. So that's an example right there. Here's something very interesting I came across when it comes to tools and what we consider tools, right? Did you know that insects can be helpful as well? Listen to this right here. Aphids can be the gardener's nemesis. That means enemy, by the way. They show up seemingly out of nowhere. They breed quickly and feed by sucking the juice out of plants while excreting a damaging substance. Many gardeners use pesticides to get rid of these tiny annoyances, but pesticides also kill the best defenses against aphids. They're predators. Yep. You want to kill the aphids, but you end up killing the things that actually kill the aphids with pesticides. Right. So anyway, you may not think of them as tools, but insects can be excellent garden gadgets. While pretty in their red and black, ladybugs are powerful green tools for getting rid of aphids, since they'll feed on them quite aggressively. A ladybug can eat more than 5,000 aphids and other pests during its 1 year of life. So that's how long a ladybug lives, huh? 1 year. Ladybugs and certain beetles will also eat your pesky mealybugs, and predator mites help control other unwanted mites, such as spider mites. And be kind to the earthworms. They cause you no harm and help cultivate your garden. Sometimes the most powerful tools are the ones provided by nature. Yeah, guys. So, next time we get squeamish about insects, they have a purpose as well. I don't know what purpose mosquitoes have, though. I always wonder about that. Flies and mosquitoes. Can somebody tell me in the chat what the purpose of mosquitoes and flies are? I can only assume that maybe it's population control, because outside of that, I really don't see any major purpose for them. But nonetheless, they're here. So as we can see, I mean, that's the ultimate green tool right there. An insect. An insect is, I mean, of course. I mean, yeah, they're when it comes to gardening, and stuff like that, or farming, or you got crops and stuff like that, you got to take care of. Nature provides natural I don't know, protection for these plants, and stuff like that. Yeah, it's called symbiosis in nature, I think. Don't quote me on that. Where two elements in nature seem to work together. It could be two totally unrelated, seemingly unrelated elements work together in nature to kind of help each other out. It's kind of like those when you look at a big fish in the ocean, you have the little fish that attach themselves to the big fish, and the big fish provides food for the little fish, right? On the skin of the big fish, the little fish that attach themselves are feeding on the food or debris that's on the big fish. So the big fish is essentially feeding them, but the little fish are actually cleaning the big fish, right? So they're both getting something out the deal, and that's what I guess that's what we're talking about here. So, all right, so interesting. Here's one. Green. This is going way back, and for some people, right? Because clotheslines. Think about it. You got the clothesline in the back, right? Instead of using a dryer, which is going to suck up all kinds of energy, is going to make your electric bill go through the roof. If you're using it all the time, a washing machine and dryer. Maybe not so much for the washing machine, right? Unless you're going to get in the back and you're going to use the scrub board to wash your clothes, like I came up watching in my household. Yeah, we don't use washing machines. We used the scrub board, you know what I mean? Back in the days. And we had the clothesline that we hung the clothes and stuff like that. All right. So it took muscle, and it was, you got to work out. And so you got things like appliances that really suck up your your electricity and stuff like that, or gas, and just throw them on a clothesline, and you don't have to worry about that. So they got all kinds of clothes. They even got the clotheslines right now that are retractable. You just hook it up and you pull it. Boom. If you're done, you could take the line and just let it wind back up into its thing. So they have that too. Get it for like, I don't know, 10, 13, 14 bucks or something like that. And imagine how much you're saving on your electric bill. Okay. Only thing about that is when it rains, it's always a drawback to everything, right? All right, let's see. Hey, Claudette, how you doing? Thanks, Claude. Yeah, thanks for saying it's a good topic. Yeah, it's interesting to me to see how the advancements in technology affects the tool industry, or things like that, and how everything kind of affects everything else. And I'm just kind of connecting the dots. Claudette says one of the chapels I designed for is eco-friendly, getting rid of the limos for electric Mercedes. It's a good idea, especially to save on costs of limo repairs. Yeah, absolutely. That's the big thing now in the automotive world. I think most people see that happening. The whole electric vehicles coming online. Because remember, before I think it was just Tesla for a minute, and now all these other brands have electric cars now. Like she said, Mercedes have it, and I've seen other big car brands, not so big car brands, jumping on the electric vehicle bandwagon. At least they have a fleet of electric cars as part of their product line too, not just gas powered cars. And it's all about that's the beautiful thing about competition. You see the next person getting some, and you want some of that too. So, but in order to do that, in order to compete, you got to get, you got to keep up. You got to keep up with the tech, right? And yeah, it's a very good observation there, Claudette. Absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, so yeah, insects. I mentioned earlier. Great tools. Go hang the clothes. Go if you got a yard or something, or even if you don't have a yard, get a clothesline and save yourself some money. Another way the tool industry is becoming more eco-friendly is promoting refurbished tools, right? Just think about it. If a tool is refurbished, you're going to buy a refurbished tool. That means the environmental effects of manufacturing a new tool, a brand new tool, are not going to be as much as refurbishing a tool and reselling that tool, right? So they have websites that sell their refurbished tool, and if you're really into the green space, you're not going to really be trying to buy a lot of brand new stuff. You're going to be looking at, okay, let me go get something that's refurbished, right? And or recycled, something like that. So, and that's pretty much what it is. You're buying something that's been fixed up again, good enough to sell again, and you could save. Your wallet is good for your wallet as well. You save like 30. You save like depends, but you can save up to 70%. That on a tool, that a new tool would cost about 70% more than a refurbished. More or less 30 to 70%, I would say. And so, yeah, think about that. Okay, so another green tactic that's similar to that than actually buying a refurbished tool is renting a tool. I've rented tools, right, myself, right? It's kind of like Uber, right? Well, I get a car when you got Uber, right? Use somebody else's car, right? Or if you rent your tools, if you don't use tools that much, certain tools you can you rent, right? Like you can rent it pretty much lawnmowers, welders. You can rent all kinds of stuff, depending on what your hardware store provides you. Because if you own a full set of power tools, I mean that costs a lot. Power tools are not cheap, especially if you're getting the top of the line brands. You're talking about Festool and even Milwaukee's and stuff like that. It's not they're not the cheapest. You know, they could be really hard on your wallet. And if you're just doing it because of vanity, because you just want to impress the neighbor, it's kind of foolish, especially if you're not going to be using all that stuff. Just sitting in the garage, taking up space. Just go rent the thing. Go rent the thing and and take it back when you're done. You know what I mean? They even have, and I thought about this before myself. They have, I thought about us if there are communities that actually trade tools, like they swap tools, amongst each other and stuff like that. Like, they have stuff going on where somebody can just call somebody up or go online or something and say, oh, okay, I need this tool stuff. They actually have that. That's actually a trend going on in certain communities, right? Where neighborhoods, friends, they got these swap programs where everybody owns a different set of tools. And when somebody needs that one, they go to the person that has that one. And if you have something, then they come to you. It's kind of like the barter system back in the day. And it's really economical when you think about it. But you have to be a community to do that. So but at the end of the day, that's also green. That's a green solution as well. Eco-friendly solution, right? Nobody's going out there buying tools. Nobody has, too much of one thing. You know what I mean? Let's see. All right. Yeah, and outside of that, I'm on the green tip. Just getting a cordless tool is one step toward being green. Okay. All right. Last thing I want to touch on, guys, tonight, I told you it's not going to be on here too long, is how blockchain is being used in that technology. It's not just about cryptocurrency I mentioned earlier, even though that's the most popular technology right now. That's been around for a little bit, because it's all about money and people making a lot of money and stuff, instant millionaires and stuff like that. But the blockchain technology is being used in so many other areas. But first, if nobody knows what blockchain technology, let me define what it is. Let me define what it is for you. Okay. So blockchain is a system in which a record of transactions, they call it a ledger. Okay. If you're an accountant, you know what that is. It's just a way, it's kind of like your digital books. All right. If you're keeping the books, this is like a digital form of a ledger, a book ledger, paper ledger. And it's supported by computers all across, I guess, the world, and they're linked together in a what they call a peer-to-peer network. So everything's linked together. This is a gigantic ledger which records all these transactions, every transaction. And the thing about it, it's decentralized, right? Meaning that there's no one hub that monitors these transactions. It's like everybody can monitor. Everybody monitors. It's the system monitors itself. So you have this gigantic thing called blockchain, and it's all kind. You can put all kinds of platforms on it, and whether it's currency transactions, payments, this, that, and the other. You guys can look into it. I'm sure some of you guys probably know way more about it than I do, as far as breaking down the technology and how it works. But the main thing is it's about democratization of your transactions, right? And getting the banks out of the way. And it's also about privacy and security as well. And that's where tools, the power tool industry, kind of got a foot in that sense, in the security part, right? And let me explain. Lowe's, everybody knows, you know about Home Depot, you know about Lowe's as well. Lowe's is using blockchain technology as their security guards. So I don't think it's happened yet, but they're building to technology to pretty much monitor your tools with the use of RFID tags. Now, RFID tags or RFID chips, I should say, not tags. I mentioned tags because me being a trucker for a long time, I used to go in and out a lot of the ports of uh, Southern California, and in order to get in and out of those ports, you have to have what's called an RFID tag or chip on your truck. It's usually on the driver's side mirror. It's attached. It's like a little box. And what RFID stands for is radio frequency identification technology. Okay, um, RFID, right? Radio frequency ID identification, and it just reads the information contained in a tag from a distance without making any contact with you. Okay, with the product or vehicle or anything. So you have it's pretty much radio frequencies reading what's the information in a device that you have. And so what Lowe's hardware or Lowe's Home Improvement, whatever, I think what they're working on is using RFID in their tools, right? So if somebody tries to leave the store or steal something from the store, they can't walk out. They can't work out with it. And if they do walk out, what's going to happen is, because you're saying, well, what do you mean? Is it like some kind of force field is going to stop them from working out? No, it's just going to shut the tool off. It's just going to shut the tool off, so the tool won't work, because it was stolen, right? It wasn't taken out of the store in the proper manner. So these things will shut it off. The only way to shut it on or make it work again is through the blockchain technology, which will, I think, I know I'm kind of jumping around, seems kind of choppy, but I think the blockchain, the way the blockchain ties into all of that is that it'll be able to keep or authorize the proper user of the tool to be able to use the tool, right? And so so you see how that blockchain is working in that sense, by verifying the proper owner, the legal owner of the tool. It will allow the person to use the tool again. So the combination of RFID technology and blockchain technology together. But you guys can do the research on that yourself. And this is the wave of the future, by the way, when it comes to tech. Okay, so it'll be a good investment, I would say, if to research these blockchain companies and see what they're doing. If you like what they're doing, why not invest, right? You got to do something with your money anyway, so find something that can double, triple your money. They got all kinds of things going on. I think blockchain is it's in so many areas, like even health, health and medicine. It's in that world as well. Let's see. Okay, where am I? Let me check, see if anybody came on. Nope. All right. So anyway, guys, I rattled for a while now. Either one or two things. You guys are really intrigued about what I'm talking about tonight, or you don't know what I'm talking about at all. Either way, it's fine. Let's see. I'm trying to find that Lowe's. Okay, here it is. Lowe's is combining RFID and blockchain technologies to ensure stolen products are rendered inoperable. Yep. Okay, says Lowe's isn't messing around with shoplifters. Through Lowe's Innovation Labs. I didn't even know Lowe's had innovation labs. The company's, I guess that's their R&D department, right? Research and Development Department. The company is planning to launch an anti-theft initiative called Project Unlock that uses RFID chips and scanners to activate products that are legitimately purchased. In other words, if a power tool is stolen from Lowe's, it isn't going to work. Over the last few years, theft, driven largely by organized groups, has risen for the entire retail industry. Yeah, that is a, lost revenue due to theft is a pretty big thing, and yeah, it always has been. Lowe's said in a December 2022 video announcing the initiative, the net result has been locked down store experiences that penalize customers. Yeah, who likes to go into a store where everything is behind a cage or a glass and call you got to call the clerk or whoever to come open up it so you can get it out. It puts a damper on the customer experience in the store, right? Nobody wants to feel like they're a thief. And well, I'm not going to get into the politics of that, but yeah. So, and not only that, it can, that experience can make someone not even want to shop at that particular store because of, what the store is trying to do is protect from theft. Protect itself from theft. And, so it's, hey, they're trying to protect themselves. At the same time, they're losing customers because customers don't like to feel like they're thieves. The company added, "We think there are better ways to curb theft than locking products down." The initiative comes as retail theft has ballooned into nearly $100 billion problem for the industry, with companies from Walmart to Target sounding the alarm on retail shrink. For many, the solution to preventing theft has been stowing items away under lock and key, but experts have said that measure pushes customers away from stores and reduces sales. Of course, like I just said, nobody wants to feel like they're walking into an environment where they feel that they're being, treated like a criminal, right? A potential criminal. And I get why the stores are doing it, because of thieves. There are people steal things, yeah. It says Project Unlock has two main components. First, products are loaded with RFID tags that have unique serial numbers. When customers check out, are they doing this stuff with catalytic converters? That's what they need to do. Because the catalytic converter thieving rings are big out where I'm at, when customers check out, a scanner reads all tags on the product. And if they have the correct serial number, the product is activated at sale. Okay. Wow. So that thing won't work until that serial number is read and that scanner reads it, like I was mentioning. Otherwise, without this point of sale activation, the product is inoperable. Okay. It also says that it focuses on transparent purchase records. More specifically, the company said it is utilizing blockchain technology to create a secure, publicly accessible, anonymized record of authentic product purchases. So, yeah, all these transactions, that the scanning and the RFID scanning of serial numbers, all that's being recorded once again in the blockchain. Okay, in that ledger, in that digital ledger, they call it blockchain. Purchases, everything. I'm sure it records returns, damage, whatever. It records everything there, so you can't lie at the end of the day, right? So there's a lot of upsides to it. And it says, okay, it also says the blockchain, which records all these transactions, it says if a thief tries to resell the stolen goods to other individuals or third party. I think this is the big kicker right here. If a thief tries to resell stolen goods to the other individuals or third party marketplaces, right? If they try to put it on Amazon or try to put it on eBay, potential buyers can check to make sure they're not buying a stolen good. Yeah, we see a future in technologies like Project Unlock can help the entire retail ecosystem create a great environment for our customers. All right. So yeah, I think it's a great application of blockchain technology, to prevent theft and keep people's noses clean and all that stuff. And I'm sure you guys can see how that can be applied across so many other industries, right? Think about that, right? Stolen cars, the automotive industry, the clothing. I mean, any physical products industry, and not, we know it can apply in the digital space as well, right? Because you got things like encryption and you have codes and all that coding and stuff like that. But it's on that world is now layered onto the physical products world, and so it's a game changer. Will it reduce the amount of incarcerated individuals? Will this technology help to do that? I don't know. I mean, you can get real conspiracy. You can conspiracy like and say, oh well, shit, they're gonna start putting chips in people. They're having I think they're doing it now anyway, to some degree, where they can track you. But at least they can't steal you again. Wink, wink. But anyway, guys, I hope you got something out of this. This discussion hopefully was interesting. I just lightly touched on these points. Of course, you could do a deep dive if you want. Blockchain technology is very technical and detailed. So many layers to it. You just go on forever and ever talking about it, or studying and learning about it. And it's an emerging technology, right? It itself hasn't even blossomed into what it could fully be. And on the eco-friendly side, same thing. These things are emerging. These things are constantly in a state of flux, and they're not stagnant. And that's the interesting thing about it. You always learn. You always have something to report, and that's what I do. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you coming on and listening to us, and hopefully you guys have a good night. And I will see you guys next time. Have a good one. Peace. Oh yeah, don't forget to support the sponsor right there. Okay, don't forget to support the sponsor right there. Go check it out. Peace.